Remember when common sense was common? When standing up for what is right was the right thing to do? Welcome to The Right Side. Common sense conversations about Hawaii's political landscape and how it affects you, your ohana, and your community. Join us for the next hour as we cut through the political noise and look at Hawaii from the right side, where public officials and community leaders discuss the policies that affect our future, strategies that move the needle, and highlight leaders that are stepping up to make a difference. Get ready for The Right Side, a common sense conversation.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. The number here is 808-913-6450, 808-913-6450. I'm Augie, and that's Malia Zimmerman right there.
Aloha. Good morning.
Welcome, you guys.
I mean, good afternoon.
That's right.
Sometimes we get a little confused over here because we're on different sides of the
That's right.
studio.
Yeah, no, and it's been a very interesting and tough week for me. All of a sudden have allergies, and I call my doctor, and he tells me, "Oh, this is because you're getting older." I'm like, "What?"
That doesn't sound like, I think you need a new diagnosis. How about you're allergic to something?
Yeah, maybe
Not
people?
allergic to age? Are you allergic to age?
Maybe politics?
Yeah, probably. Well, I remember that happened to you before when you were on a trip and you looked like you got beat up. You kept telling everybody you got beat up. But
I never experienced that ever. And, I started getting them this week, and, I've been on like a lot of Benadryl. A lot of Benadryl.
Well, we can't account for what you're going to say in the show.
Well, we're going to be talking about a really hot topic, affordable housing.
Everybody needs a house here, and it's so out of control.
I saw something on the internet. If you want to buy a 1.4, which is almost the average price now, home here in Hawaii, you got to have at least $250,000 down payment, and you can pay about $6,000 a month.
Let me just write a check right now. It's so crazy. And I mean, the problem is you have to have had a house maybe passed down to you.
Correct.
Or you have to have two really, professional people married or whatever, working together to invest it, or a company
to be comfortable in Hawaii.
Right.
So, everyone has tried to purchase a home on Oahu or on any island knows that Hawaii has affordable housing crisis. The average cost of a house, like I said, ranges between 1.4 to 1.5 million. It doesn't, buy you a mansion, because you go, like I look on the web, on the mainland, if I bought a $1.5 million home someplace in Texas or, Evansville, Indiana, where I go yearly to visit my father-in-law, man.
You'd be having a palace.
Oh, gosh.
You'd be having parties all the time, and you'd have some extra change.
I don't know about having parties. I don't like people.
Okay. How about cats? How about cats? Do you like cats?
Yes, I like animals. I like a farm. Maybe I can get a farm one day. But today we will talk to, about some projects being planned in Hawaii that may help ease the market tension. Malia, you want to introduce our guest? And I love this guy because, when we first got into office, we knew the top three things that people, worried about, right? They want public safety. They want housing. They want to be able to live affordable and they also like, us to fix the homeless problem.
Right.
So
everybody was worried about the cost of living, if their family was going to be safe.
And early
if
on,
they had clean parks, that was another thing.
We're invited to a project that our guests invited us on, and I was blown away, on how the people over there in Kapolei enjoyed the home. They felt safe. And these guys are doing this, and they're trying to help, ease, the pain and getting people into homes. So, you want to introduce our guest?
Sure. So, Moe Mohanna is the principal and president of Highridge Costa Development Company, and he's here with us today. Moe has a wealth of experience in the real estate industry, having developed numerous affordable and market rate communities across the Western U.S. and beyond. He is a real estate veteran with over 25 years of development experience. His knowledge spans the entire spectrum of the real estate development industry, from land acquisition and entitlement through construction and sales lease up. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Mo.
Aloha, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, man. I wanted to have you on for quite a time now, because your knowledge on just building affordable is priceless. And I think what you guys have done, like on my side of the island. Very thankful for that. But like, let's talk today about how serious is, our affordable housing crisis in Hawaii.
Well, affordable housing has become a crisis nationwide, not just in Hawaii. Hawaii is obviously a huge concern. The best example, you talked about our community in Kapolei, Moe. When we first opened that a few years ago, 143 units, there were over 900 names interested to sign up for the apartments. So that kind of gives you a feel right there. And that seems to be across the spectrum, particularly on family ohana housing. We also do kapuna. So the need for that housing, and we find that these people have jobs, have good income, have good credit, but merely they are priced out of the market. As a matter of fact, we see some of them even slightly higher than the affordable housing and rental levels, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the crisis is real, and these communities remain 100% occupied once they're full, with really minimal advertising thereafter. The communities are phenomenal because the key aspect here to understand about these communities that we create, there's no ongoing operating or rental subsidy. So the people, this is their community.
Explain that, because, rental subsidy, because, a lot of people just heard that. I don't get it. You want to explain that real quick?
Rental subsidy is basically commonly known, the best way to describe it is one of the aspects is known as the Section 8 vouchers. They're HUD vouchers. Here in Honolulu, City County of Honolulu issues those, and you have them. But they're far and few in between.
Correct.
So the reality, people need rents they can afford. That's what affordable workforce housing does. It provides these rents at affordable levels dictated by the state, published every year. We abide by them. And what a lot of people don't know is that these are working families because there is no subsidy. They have to have that income. But what is really important, what this is as their income grows, the rents are, and we'll talk about that, is at certain level, 60%, for example, area median income. Their income can continue to grow, but they will not pay higher than that rent. So what that does, I think I heard you guys talking earlier about the down payment. The biggest issue is saving for a down payment.
Right.
Sometimes family can afford the mortgage. But when you are not chasing the rent, when the rent stays there, but you are rewarded for your hard work by being able to pay just that rent, then you can start saving through planning, which we provide with some nonprofit financial planning to save.
And that's the most important thing. You guys are building so that these people will have an opportunity, because it's really hard to get Section 8. I grew up on that. Section 8 was meant to be a hand up and not a handout, and to help you, save some money so that you can get out of the situation you had by getting yourself in a home or, bettering yourself as a person, right?
The hand up is the key word.
Yes.
Okay, that's the word it is. It's about the hand up. This is not about finding affordable rent today, but this is about working hard, improving yourself, and still having an affordable rent to save, to plan. First, you save by being able to take your kids on a little vacation, to buy them something extra. As a dad, we know that. Then you start saving for the next home. And in many cases, in many communities we've built throughout the nation, many of the people that leave is because they've saved for a down payment. So that's the key. It's not only about today, but it's about the future and the hope that brings.
We're talking to Moe Mohanna, 808-913-6450. It's 808-913-6450. If you have any questions about, what we're talking about today, and that's building affordable. Mo, how many properties you guys have on island and state throughout Hawaii?
Currently, we have 5 communities, 3 of them completed, 2 under construction, a third one to start construction next month, actually. So we will have over 1,300 units active for all affordable housing. We are currently working in 26 and 27 to start another 1,200 units. And we have a vested plan in Hawaii for the next 10 to 12 years to deliver over 14,000 all affordable workforce housing units.
Okay, so you say affordable, but a lot of people, you go online and they say affordable. What you mean affordable? 950,000 affordable. That's the reason why we got Mo on, because let's talk about that, Mo. When you say a house or apartment is affordable, what does that mean in today's market?
So the rents are published by the state. What that means is there are rents as low. So there's a income that's established for the county. And based on that income, that's called at 100% income, there's certain rent levels. We work on rent levels between 30% to 60%. For example, a one-bedroom at 30% rents at $855. A four-bedroom at 30% rents at $1,300. Comparatively, if it's a 60%, which is the higher end, the one-bedroom rents at $1,700 and the four-bedroom rents at $2,600. Those are published rents dictated to us, and those rents are affordable in all of our communities in Hawaii for about 60 years.
All right, we're talking to Moe Mohanna. We'll talk more about affordable housing. The number here is 808-913-6450. This is The Right Side, a common sense conversation.
Welcome back to The Right Side with Hawaii public officials and community leaders. Let's get back to common sense conversations.
It's The Right Side of Common Sense Conversation. It's Augie, Malia, and Moe Mohanna from Highridge, Costa. We're talking affordable housing. Okay, Moe, before we went to break, you're giving us the breakdown on what affordable housing and what you guys offer. So you want to explain that again, 60 AMI and all that stuff?
Sure. So it's based on income levels.
Okay.
And the incomes are published by the state. And the range we focus on is from the 30% area median income to the 60. So the 30% for a family of one, for example, is that family making about $34,000 a year. For a family of four, that's a family making no more than 52. So they get those lower rents. However, we have the range that goes up to 68,000 and 75,000. So it varies on the family size and the unit size.
See, so when we say affordable, that's super affordable. A lot of family members, unfortunately, doesn't make the six-figure jobs. But then also there's a need for the six-figure job people too. But, a lot of our needs right now is in that range. And that's why these guys play a huge role in developing the kind of housing we need right now. Especially for my friends and family on the west side of Oahu who have to, so difficult to travel into town to get those jobs. I'm hoping that one day we can live, work, play in the area that we live in so that our lives are a little bit more comfortable. Normally, you have a question.
Sure. In terms of how you provide, when you think about planning a project, how do you provide a viable and affordable living community that caters to maybe, say, the individual needs and also like the overall city growth plan?
First and foremost, we focus on the residents that are living there and listen. Listening is not only listening to where we're going to start developing a new community, but listening is to the communities that we've developed. We go there, we visit with them, we sit with them, we understand what they like, what they don't like about what's been developed. And we take that information and that knowledge and go back and then share that with the community where we're starting a new project. We listen to them, we listen to their needs. There's sometimes perceptions of what people think they want, but it's different when you're living in it. So we not only try to listen to what they need, but try to bring those lessons we've learned from the communities we've built and share them with the new communities to create something sustainable, to create something where people enjoy living. We focus on amenities, we focus on floor plans, we focus on location, we focus on what's the needs. If we're building a kupuna project, that's a whole different concept and approach. If we're building one for the ohana, we got to look for the keiki, where they're going to play, what they're going to do, after school programs. So there's a lot involved besides what the zoning is. We need to look at it as how those people are going to live there and how are they going to enjoy calling it a home, making it their home. And that's kind of the first driver of how we design anything. The architect is to listen to that. We are to listen to that. And then we go back whenever every community is done and sit and talk to our residents and see what their likes and dislikes and learn from them. And I think that's what we've done. That's the benefit of doing this day in, day out. That's all we do. We don't do hotels. We don't do office buildings. All we do is serve affordable housing. So we take that knowledge, we share it, and we try to improve it for every community that we do.
And you guys been doing this for a long time, not just in Hawaii, but nationwide. So you guys understand the concept and the needs of the community because that's so important. Like you're saying, what makes Hawaii unique?
What makes Hawaii unique is its people. That's something I've really cherished and been blessed with, is learning the community, meeting a lot of people, making friends. They care about each other. What makes Hawaii very unique is in many states when we go work and talk about affordable housing, you hear the word NIMBYism, not in my backyard.
That's right.
You hear those people. I have never heard that in Hawaii. People in communities understand that they need to take care of each other. And that is such an amazing feeling to walk in and not hearing people make comments like those people.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they say we want to help each other. And their interest is to really make sure that we develop something that fits within the community, but it's never about we don't want those people there. And that's this kama'aina feeling that we see here. That is something rare, and that is something unique. And we're very lucky to be working where kama'aina means a lot.
We're talking to Moe Mohanna from Highridge, Costa, and talking affordable housing. 808-913-6450. Now, if you are just joining in and you're going, man, this is an interesting topic, no worry, because Malia, she will post this on YouTube. So you can go back, you can watch, listen, absorb, go online and type in Highridge, Costa and see how they can help you get into an affordable housing complex. Now, how do you build affordable housing that is so sustainable and currently, culturally sensitive? Or do you, how do you build affordable in Hawaii?
So building affordable and building it at those affordable rents, so it is sustainable long-term, meaning not needing any ongoing operating subsidies or assistance, is a very unique program that has to do with tax-exempt bonds and tax credits that is administered by each state. In Hawaii, it's administered by the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation. And that amount of money is a combination of federal tax-exempt bonds and credits that are allocated to Hawaii. And the rest comes from the state in the form of state credits and a revolving housing rental fund. Those work hand in hand. However, the demand is so overwhelming because of the
We were talking
need.
about that earlier. The
Yes.
demand is a lot. So,
Yeah, right. I believe currently there are about for every 4 or 5 applications received a year, the agency is able to allocate 1 against 4 or 5. So that kind of gives you a sense of the overwhelming demand and hence the need for these communities.
Yeah.
Those funds are highly competitive and we have to be responsible. It's our kuleana to be very responsible and wise how we use those money. And therefore we need to look at cost efficiency, build sustainable, build quality, build something well maintained, but at the same time cost. And that's where it becomes very important that the community and the government collaborate to move these opportunities fast, because only one thing happens over time. Costs go up.
Correct.
Insurance goes up, and that doesn't benefit anyone.
right. And the cost of everything, everything all mixed in. And we've seen the challenges, for me, the last 5 years as a city council member, we on the council are really trying to push any kind of affordable. But again, like you're saying, 1 to 4, it's not going to come very fast. But I'm hoping that, again, if we understand, sometimes I think, we do have an opportunity problem too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are leaving because there are better opportunities on the mainland. Maybe we start thinking about how do we diversify the economy here so that people can go and live in those homes in our neighborhood so that, again, they can live, work, play, and take care of the needs of their family.
Right. Okay. And so in terms of your projects that you have right now in Hawaii, are they all sold out right away, or are they all taken right away, or how does that process work? I was just wondering if they're all filled up or if you're still trying to accept applications.
So leased up, the ones we
Leased
have
up, yeah.
currently are leased up. We have one in downtown that is a unique product, a micro-unit type product, which was kind of explored because we're looking at different types of products.
Is this the
versus
senior
typical-
housing one?
That's the Kopuna one,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
So that's
Kokuahale.
Kokuahale.
Okay.
So that's taken a little bit longer, but right now I think there's only about 10 units left, so
Wow.
it will be fully occupied. All our other communities, the one Hale Moana out in Kapolei, are 100% occupied with waiting lists. And that's fairly common of all the communities here. So there is quite a bit of depth of demand. The studies that we're doing for the new communities continue to show on the Ohana side a huge demand. The Kupuna, the demand is there, but culturally in Hawaii it's different, as you know, that concept of the extended family, the multi-generational We also look into that and see that. So our community in Kapolei has both a Kupuna component and an Ohana component. So the grandparents are there, the children are there, and that's something we like to see, and we're looking at continuing to develop.
And that's the reason
level.
why I'm having a hard time to get my mom out of my house.
I'm staying out of this one.
No, you get, because I've called Mo. I actually called Mo. I said, Mo, this kukuahale. And I try to sell my mom, it's, right there on Bishop, around that area. It's near to Kuakini. You'll have the privacy you need. Maybe you find a rich stepdad for your son.
And she goes, Augie, right?
Yeah, she's like, he's so stupid. But I called Mo,
right?
Because I believe there's a lot of, I'm just playing because I enjoy my mom and dad had to move into my homes, unfortunately, because it was difficult finding the right home, if they qualify or not qualify. And my dad, was on the beginning stages of dementia. So it was important that, again, multicultural, multi-family, I had to make sure that that I have a responsibility as a son to make sure that mom and dad are taken care of. But I also saw the need. And one of the many reasons I ran for office, because I went, man, if my mom and dad cannot afford to live in Hawaii, they got to move in with their kids. What is wrong? Then I started thinking about, what about my kids? Will they ever be able to buy a home? Why are things so expensive? And that's the reason why I ran more, is because I wanted to answer those questions in my head. And, and you've taught me a lot in the last 5 years. Sitting in council has taught me a lot, and there's a need. And we're doing the very best we can to fill that need. And it's because of, developers like Highridge, Costa that, really look for the needs in the community. You heard them. They listen. They find out what's sensitive in the area. Everything. And that's what it's all about.
Augie, if your mom moves to Bishop Street, guess where she'll be every day? Sitting in your office.
Just to say, though, one thing for our kapunas is we create a variety of programs. The idea on kapuna living is to get them out of their units.
Yes.
To get them to socialize with each other.
Yes.
On communities in Kapolei, where we have intergenerational, we've had some great interactive programs between the Kupuna and Ohana side. We have a ukulele program.
Stay right there. We'll talk more about the Kupuna units. We'll talk about how Highridge Costa is fitting the needs of our community here in Hawaii. It's the right side of Common Sense Conversation. It's Augie. Hope you guys are having a beautiful afternoon.
Welcome back to The Right Side with Hawaii public officials and community leaders. Let's get back to Common Sense Conversations.
808-913-6450. It's The Right Side. We're talking affordable housing today, and it's just been a very fruitful conversation. I hope you guys are learning a lot, and you guys can, learn more, if you just log on to Highridge Costa, right, the website, and you can see what they offer and how they can maybe fit the need, so that you can get into one of their apartments.
Well, when we were just about taking the break, Mo was talking about how his senior living, how you offer programs, and you started to talk about your ukulele program.
Yes, the key with the seniors, kapuna, is the socialization. That's a very important aspect.
By the way, Mo, I just called my mom. Okay, so I just called my mom. She's listening right now. Please sell her, because she needs to get out of my house already.
You got it. Well, we'd love to have her come and visit us. We'd love to host her. But we do open houses, actually, at Kukuwahale. And the key is to get our seniors out of their units, to get them to meet each other, to get them to check on each other, to socialize with each other. And in situations where we have intergeneration, like Hale Moena, where we have Kupuna and Ohana, there's such a wealth with the Kupuna.
Yeah,
the storytelling, helping with math. But a very great program that has developed on its own organically in Hale Moena is ukulele. So a member of the community that plays the ukulele wanted ukulele to teach the children. And we bought them, and there's free classes at the community that does that. And people ask us, what are the programs that you provide? And I say, we leave that to happen organically. We want whether it's Ohana or Kupuna, it's what are they interested in? Because when it comes from the community, someone who's teaching, hula dancing or who's storytelling, it comes from them.
Right.
And those are the programs that are from the community, for the community, not something that we publish on a piece of paper that the property manager simply implements. That's been why those programs have been successful.
Yeah, you guys have a garden on the top of your roof out in Kapolei. That's interesting how now a lot of people want to start, their own home gardening.
Gardening is a big thing. Both Ohana and Kupuna, one community, not here in Hawaii, but I hope to see it, is they created a cooking class.
Oh.
And they basically plant the basic herbs and things that they need for their next meal that they're going to prep. And they use those gardens to take the basics to kind of prepare it. So it's a really neat concept. Again, an organically grown concept from
Correct.
within the community.
And that's what happens when you listen, you ask questions about the community, and you realize, man, there's so much, Ohana in everything that we do. And, I grew up like that. I grew up in public housing, but never felt like I grew up in public housing because everybody treated everybody the same. We had different nationalities. We understood each other's culture, and man, it just made it so much better, when we can live in a community like that, to live, work, and play. So I appreciate what you guys doing. Malia, you have a question on the challenges, right?
Right. What are the challenges that you're facing as a company when you decide, okay, there's a need here, we want to build housing here, and then in terms of the permitting process or public accepting the project, how does that work?
It's a very challenging process filled with unknowns. You don't know if the community is going to accept your project. You don't know what is going to be conditioned by the state agency and what's going to be required by the neighborhoods. In today's world, if I take a step back and look at real estate, many investors want to buy already built communities that are leased up. Why? Because they don't understand or know how to maneuver that risk of developing. Like I said, is the community going to accept it? How many units is it going to be? Is it going to pencil? What is the cost going to be? Are the regulations going to change? This is common with any real estate development you want to do. Now add to that what we just talked about, the financing that you need for these affordable housing that's oversubscribed. So now you're overcoming all these barriers that any real estate developer wants to come, and all of a sudden you go to council, you got it approved, you're happy, we say thank you to council for approving it, and they ask us, when are you going to start construction? And we're like, well, we'd like to start tomorrow, but now we have to go apply for these funds that are unknown. And those funds can take you 1, 2, 3 years after a community approved. And the community is asking, city council is asking, where are we? We approved this. Why don't we see it? The other challenge, and the very big challenge, and everybody knows about that today, is the cost. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have to think. We have scarce resources, being the state funds. I've heard different studies. One, I think, said that every 7 to 10 years, the cost doubles. So on average, by the way, to get to construction start, if we're lucky, it's 5 years. So that is one of the biggest challenges. That's where we need to collaborate as developers, as a community, as state agencies, as county agencies. How do we shorten that time? Not in the interest of, the main interest is it costs us less. And if we spend less on this community, then we have more money left on the next one and on the next one. That is really what I probably ask of, is the biggest challenge that we have, the biggest help that's needed. How do we get it in the ground? Last but not least is, the reason it's important to be quick, you shouldn't only be asking, when did we start construction? But we should be asking, when are people going to be living there? Because now that's another 2 to 3 years to build it. So you could see the span of time. We want to get people in their homes. They deserve them. They have earned them. They have the right for that dignity. And that's what we should focus on, not all the other aspects of how do we push this, how do we get that. There is a family out there that has the right to live in a home with dignity that they can afford without asking for help from anyone, without having to share it with anyone. That's a right. And if we focus on that family, instead of focusing on how we're going to bicker on this, or how we're going to add more cost to this, or how we're going to add conditions to this, and understand that every time we prolong the conversation of approving, every time we prolong the time it gets to a permit, look outside that glass, look outside that door, metaphorically speaking, and there's a family waiting for the home.
Yeah, or leaving, which we don't want to do, right? We've seen in the last several years, just our family members moving away because one, it's affordable. Two, they can probably get into a home that they can live in, and all the things that Mo was saying. So we need to look. The stuff that he's saying is really common sense, but man, you have no idea how frustrating and how puzzling this can be for a guy or a developer that comes in and has the right intention. Let's go, and we all want it to go, but they get stalled up in all this stupidity and red tape. And it's super, super frustrating. You stated the goal is to provide over 14,000 affordable units in the next 10 to 15 years, Mo. Is the plan realistic, or what is the biggest, again, challenge to all of that?
So part of what we're doing is an initiative by the Governor Josh Green and the Hawaii Public Housing Authority called Kale Momi, the Lay of Pearls. Beautiful name. It's across all 4 counties. That part of theirs is to provide 12,000 units. Coupled with what we're doing, that pushes us into about 16,000. Timing. I think realistically, when we look at many of these sites, the utility constraints that are being worked on and the financing constraint, this is probably a 10 to 15 year plan, understanding that there are other developers that need to develop, so on and so forth. But Highridge Costa is trying to achieve a pace depending on the financing and approvals, but we have the pipeline between state sites identified, already entitled, by the way, in the thousands of units entitled, ready to move forward. I think the pace would be from a low of 600 to 800 starts a year to maybe about 1,200 units a year consistently. The uniqueness of this is any developer, including ourselves, when we work in any nation, any states, we're looking, where is the next site? The state of Hawaii, and I believe its vision, its courage, its understanding that we have to serve the residents of Hawaii and Kama'aina. The governor came and said, here are the sites. Here they are. They're identified. We've done the plans. We've done the studies. That is a game changer. No other state in the nation has done that. One other state has attempted, started years before Hawaii, and Hawaii is way ahead. We're starting on projects already. They haven't started. So that is a great thing. But now we need to collaborate collectively. We need to coordinate collectively to get these in the ground. But I believe the pace can reach 1,000, 1,200 units minimum a year with collaboration.
No, we're all crossing our fingers for that. And again, it's that collaboration that you talk about between the state and the city, and then all that red tape in between. In order for us to move this thing quicker, faster, we need that collaboration. Okay, what's the website? And I know we're going to wrap up this segment, and when we come back, we will, again, wrap up the whole thing and get information on how you can maybe possibly get yourself in an apartment that Highridge Costa is building. The website, Mo.
hcosta.com, and check our LinkedIn page, Highridge Costa.
And the number?
The number, that one you know better than you say it better than I do.
All right, so we'll get the number to you guys. And again, if you just jumping in and you're going, man, I'm intrigued. Don't worry, you can watch this entire thing on YouTube. All right, in the next couple of days. We're talking to Moe Mohanna, Highridge Costa, affordable housing. It's the right side, a common sense conversation. Augie, Malia, hope you guys having a beautiful afternoon.
Welcome back to The Right Side with Hawaii public officials and community leaders. Let's get back to common sense conversations.
We're talking to Moe Mohanna, Highridge Costa. Interesting hour of, rich information that we all should know and understand, when we talk about affordable housing, because there's a lot of people that believe, like, affordable? Okay. And we just explain how Highridge Costa is doing that for our residents in Hawaii.
Right. I think a lot of people do feel hopeless when they try to think of where they can buy a home or live and how they can afford rent. And so this is a great conversation to have. And thanks for joining us, Mo.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. In the future, how do you see affordable housing in Hawaii changing in terms of space or what you offer, or, and how does that compare to what we have now?
Affordable housing in Hawaii is definitely changing, and I have to again comment, as challenging as this, I give a nod to the leaderships at the legislative, the governor, the state agencies. So it's not just we mentioned the 30-60% area median income. However, as I mentioned, we're also seeing a lot of the residents here overqualified, yet they can't afford these high-end product that's coming on the line. So that is known as the missing middle. Those are people that have good jobs, good education, good income, good credit, and as Augie mentioned, are leaving. So how do we address that? And the state of Hawaii's vision is they've created a special funding program for that missing middle. And we're working with HHFDC on one of the first projects in Kaka'ako, as well as with HPHA, to put that in place. The third component is that affordable for sale, or that attainable. So we need to provide the spectrum. We need to provide the spectrum for the people that need that lower income, and that they are working and they have the income for that. We need to provide that spectrum when they jump up in the income.
Right, the middle class.
The middle class, that's forgotten, because most of the development, while there's a huge need at the lower level. You're seeing the upper level, but what about the missing middle? We're not building for the missing middle anymore.
Right.
Hawaii is one of those rare states that is now looking at that and has programs that we are working on to put the first ground up missing middle communities. And then the third end of the spectrum is that for sale, because we want people to transition into ownership.
808-261-8390 is the number to Highridge Costa.
Thank you, Augie.
But people can probably go look online, right? And just kind of
easy.
see what projects you have. Is that right? Or
Yes, that is correct. Online, they're available. LinkedIn. My kids never call me on any phone number. It's always texting, so I don't keep phone numbers very well, but they all work.
Now, Mo, your career has taken you around the world, from the Middle East to the United States. How have these diverse experiences influenced your current work here in Hawaii?
I get asked that question a lot, and that's a very good question. They ask me about, are the systems here better, are the systems there better, all of the above. What I've learned, it's about the people. When people get together in a room, in a place, and want to make something happen and have a meeting of minds, it doesn't matter where you are, not even what state or what country. It doesn't matter. The meeting of the minds, the collaboration that we talk about, the compassion and the commitment to do something, it doesn't matter what the system is, it happens. When you have the best systems, however, the people sitting in that room don't have a meeting of the mind, do not want to collaborate, then it doesn't happen. What I've learned from challenges from the Middle East, and I've worked in multiple countries in the Middle East, worked here, I've worked in multiple states. When I've walked in and there was a meeting of minds where we understand each other's needs and what do we need to do and work collectively, things have happened. In many areas where they say, okay, here's a very clear system, here's a very step-by-step system, we're going through the steps, but it's like a treadmill, we're not going anywhere. So that's the lesson I've learned. It's about the people, it's about the relationships, it's about the trust, it's about delivering on a promise, which is one of the things we do in Highridge Costa. It's about a promise.
No, I appreciate your straightforwardness. I mean, when you're transparent and you're being truthful, sometimes, it touches the wrong way. But for me, man, I like, if you want something, I just ask Mo. Mo just tells me straight as it is, and I appreciate that because I believe in transparency. As tough as it may seem or nice it may seem, I would rather have somebody look me in the eye, tell me the truth, and and get the information that I need, and you need, everyone needs. So appreciate that, Mo.
Thank you.
I had one question about sustainability. So we always talk about making Hawaii more sustainable or energy efficient or food sufficient and all that. Is there any thought in when you're talking about earlier about a food garden or having a community garden? Is there any thought of making the entire building solar or relying on some alternative power and having a garden for people to plant and having the whole facility be kind of self-sufficient, or are they already?
They're definitely work in progress. We do believe in solar. We do believe in energy efficiency on all the appliances we have. We do believe in energy efficiency as to the insulation. So all of our communities that we're currently building in Hawaii, you hear about that LEED certifiable, that Turks. So all of them are at that silver level or higher. So we definitely work on that. But what we want to work on are sustainability and energy efficiency that actually provides use. There is a lot of new concepts. We're not here to experiment with those. We work with the established ones that we know are going to reduce the utility costs, reduce the energy that is being used. On the food concept, that is a great idea. That is something that we're starting with, these garden concepts. Land in Oahu is at a premium, but maybe in the future, as we perhaps look at areas collaboratively that are further out, to look into food sustainability. We do have a program out in Kapolei, actually, where a local nonprofit does grow vegetables, and we found a lot of the families aren't having enough vegetables, and they're bringing the vegetables to the community so that the families have fresh vegetables and use them. So maybe we can have them on site. But we definitely can collaborate with other programs and nonprofits that are creating that food sustainability. Also encouraging our ohana and kids that are there to go volunteer at those farms, to go bring that food home that they worked on that farm to their mom, to their dad. Those are the kinds of programs. We can't make everything happen on one site, but we can make it happen in a community.
Again, it's part of understanding the community and the needs, and I think that's what you guys do that's well. And I can't, I can't wait to see, what you guys do next in different communities, especially mine.
Which is Eva Waipahu, right?
Yes.
I know. The challenge is always the water.
That's right.
In those districts in terms of growing things, but the dirt is very rich.
Well,
so that's good.
Now vertical gardening, there's all kind of ways to do this. Mo, man, the time is up for us. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming to us and educating our public. Again, don't worry. You guys can watch this all online. Thank you, Malia, for putting it online. Every show that we've done, it's online. What's our guest next week? What are we talking next week?
That's still in the works.
It's still in the works. Moe Mohanna from Highridge, Costa. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Mahalo.
It'll be a surprise guest.
Oh, it's a surprise guest. Jason Momoa?
It's your mom.
My mom. Oh, I ain't coming. I ain't showing up.